life. So 30 minutes, it's not just 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes of your life, which will never come back to you. So my commitment would be, I will do my best to give you a lot of value in this 30 minutes. All right, so let's get rolling. So today we'll be talking on focus. All right, okay. Well, let's talk on focus. So this introduction is already given. So I'm a Limca record holder. I did a record back in 1997, which stands good till. And yeah, if you Google my name, you will find things like the phenomenal memory with India's youngest guru, and consultant for the royal family of Malaysia as well. So these are the books. Okay, let me just quickly. These are the companies which have done my workshop in the last 24 years. So let's get to the business. So focus is one of the most important skills. And what I would say is, if you cannot control focus, you cannot control anything else in life. So focus is a very, very critical thing which you have to work on. So I just want you to be like a parachute with an open mind. The mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work unless it's open. I'm sure you're all open. That's why you're here. But why I'm also saying this here is because if your mind is open, your focus will be much better. Right? So that's the reason why I'm trying to remind you once again, for a focus session, it's much more important. Great. This is one of my most powerful and the things which I love the most. The most powerful quote I love. Every next level of your life will demand a new version of yourself. Whatever has got you here is not sufficient to take you there. So a lot of ways people say, what if you keep on doing the same thing, you keep on getting the same result. So but what I would like to say is, if you want to get to the next level, the most easiest and the most logical thing is to work on yourself. When I say yourself, basically the core skills of life, which is I call as focus, memory, learning. These are all the main things. So today we'll be focusing on focus itself. So your ability to stay focused is going to decide how long you will travel in your life. Now, it really doesn't matter whether you're mixing coffee, whether you're performing a surgery, whether you're driving, whether you're talking to a client. If you can work on your focus, if your focus is better, your result will be much better. All right. And the second thing you have to work on is a strategy. Unfortunately, for focus, memory, learning, and most of the mind skills, strategies are not given because, no blame to be put on anybody. But if you literally see what happens is people don't talk about these things. The maximum guidance which people get is, please focus, concentrate. When you're studying, just focus on what you're studying, be interested, all these kind of things. But the how part is missing. When the how part is missing, people will explore their own ways, and lucky are those people who jump into the right ways knowingly or unknowingly, and unlucky are those people who keep on struggling and then they don't get the result. I just want to make a point here. A lot of people may be saying that, okay, I've been memorizing, I've been learning a lot of stuff, I've been focusing. What's so good about it? So I'm not saying whether you're doing it or not doing. I just want to tell something from my own life. It sounds funny, but if you want to laugh, you can laugh. Go ahead and laugh, no problem. And that is, it took me 19 years to learn to brush my teeth. 19 years. Now, don't think that I have not been brushing for 19 years. So what happened was that around 19 years, I had a problem in my tooth. I went to the doctor, and the doctor asked me, how do you brush? How do you brush? So I showed him, and he said, this is exactly how you should not brush. So then I have learned how to brush, So this is what happens with people if there's no guidance. So what happens normally? Okay, brush kar lo, take this and, brush your teeth. The how is missing. Anyway, so let's get on. And I'm sure most of you have known this story. I just want to give the message of the story in a new light in terms of focus. Now, what I would like to share here is, if somebody is not delivering the result, it is not probably because they cannot deliver. It is probably simply because they got lost. If you look at the turtle here, the tortoise there, it actually did not, it was having the capacity to win the race, but it just got lost, maybe in daydreaming, whatever you want to call. So that's what we want to say here. Focus shifts everything. So let's get rolling. And this is one of the quickest thing on focus, is a one-line lesson on focus by itself. Follow one course until successful. I have not created this. I've seen this on Facebook, and I love this so much that I have it on every session which I have on focus. Follow one course until successful. If you can download this into your lifestyle, you will have focus in the next level. So let's move on and see more on focus and what you can do and things about it. Now, I just want to ask you very quickly, what impacts focus? So if you can put it on chat, you can actually put on some of your ideas which you can think of what impacts focus. Anything which you can think of what impacts focus? All right, guys. So actually, I'm not able to see my chat box, so it's absolutely okay. So let's move on. So let me share with you some of those things which actually impact people's focus. One is work habits. Two, emotional state. Are you happy? Are you sad? Now, if you have a joy meditation, I think your focus will be much better because you're in a happy mode actually. And then you have, if the goals impact your focus, your physical comfort, your health, your mental attitudes, your environment, your willpower, your mental attitudes. Are you generally grateful, or you generally complaining, or you, I mean, what exactly you do? Yeah, I now see the chat. So thank you so much. So the one thing maybe, and then sleep. So literally everything you do and everything you don't do is going to impact focus either positively or negatively. So one thing is this, it's just everything. Everything you do or you don't do is either adding to your focus or taking away your focus. Now, this is that powerful. Now, I just want to share a couple of people. These guys don't have problem in focus ever. I'm sure you might have seen this on TV, or you might have actually seen it in live. No problem in focus. 1,000 people shouting, they don't lose their focus. And how do I know? Because this picture was taken. If they were not focused, the pictures would be two separate pictures with a garland. All right. So this guys are focusing. And I want to introduce another guy who is always focused naturally. There's no problem. And this person here cannot think of anything else when he's in his game. Why visas are not being given these days? When will the corona go off? When will I start getting my business? Nothing. He will be just in the game. He can't just think like, okay, let me send a message to my girlfriend. Nothing. Now, why? Now, generally, people have, all of us generally have some problem in focusing, but these guys don't have a problem. The reason is life and death. The stakes are too high. Now, if you just look at what we have in our life, generally, whatever we do are not life and death. Now, let's say, for example, I'm attending a workshop and I sit in the front row and I sleep. Even if I get caught, the worst thing will be I'll ask to leave the room. Nobody's going to kill me. There's no life and death situation. When the life and death situation comes up, trust me, everybody's focus is perfect. It is not that you don't have focus. It is not that we don't encounter that situation where the focus is absolutely required, by us, and consciously we know that. So please don't ask yourself why I'm not able to focus. Ask yourself why I'm not able to prioritize. That will actually set the things up. Now, your why is very, very important. And if your why is clear, you will sort out a lot of ways. And John C. Maxwell has put it very wonderfully. He says, find your why and then you find your way. Now, this is very, very amazing. All right, guys. So I just want to ask you, let's talk about managing distractions. Everybody says that, oh, I got distracted. This is what common thing we hear normally. So before you want to manage distractions, you have to actually understand distraction. So would anybody like to, in the chat box, define distraction? What is distraction according to you? Anything which you can see, which you can think of? Define distraction. All right. Mind wavering. Okay. Diversion of attention. All right. Maybe another one or two. Let's see. Deviating from subject. So these are all the results. Deviating from the subject is a result of distraction. Diversion of attention is what happens when you get distracted. Trying to do many things cause distraction. Lack of concentration is off focus. Too many things. Yeah, great. So let me just give my idea. Let me put it one thing, and you just have to agree or disagree. Something that splits your attention from the activity you're intending to, either partially or completely. Let me give an example. I'm talking to you, and if there's a phone buzzing, and if it splits my attention either partially or completely from the activity I'm intending to do to itself, it can be called a distraction. Do you agree that? Perfect. All right. So I want to share something. Please, please, please leave this definition because this is not at all empowering. Do you know why it's not empowering? Now, if you just look at this thing, which may look very, very logical, and maybe in the dictionary you'll find something similar to that. I don't have any objection for that. But then this is disempowering. This don't give power to us. Now, by agreeing to this definition, you know what's happening basically? You're technically saying you have no problem in your life and in your focus. You are better than Buddha or you're equivalent to Buddha. I am focused, but somebody opened the door. I am focused, but somebody called me. Now what we're doing is, by agreeing to this statement, we're actually giving the power to somebody else or something else out of us. And that's why we get distracted. So I just want you to consider a new definition, and here is the definition which I want to share, and that is that distraction is your response to happening. It is your response to happening. And the most beautiful thing about response is you have two options. You have a yes and you have a no. If you choose no, you don't get distracted. This is sounding simple, and this is also practical. This is not complicated, let me tell you. Just consider this definition. Distraction is your response to a happening. If you don't respond to the stimulus, it is no more a distraction. That means any distraction which happens to you, it seeks your approval, it needs your approval. Only when you approve, actually you get distracted. So let me put things in perspective. Now I just want you to see this picture. This picture actually gives you all the learning which you need in terms of focus. Now just look at this guy Messi playing the football. Now there are 1 lakh people, or a lot of people, 100,000 people in the audience here. And this guy, when he's playing, do you think he loses his focus? The answer is big no. Do you think he's deaf? Is he deaf? I think he's not deaf. All right. Probably he's not deaf. But what is happening here? Simply, he did not choose to respond. As simple as that. He did not choose to respond. Now look at this picture. Somebody who took this picture, he wanted to take the picture of Messi and the ball. See the amazing fallout. When this guy is focusing on Messi and on the ball, have you seen everything else falls apart? The audience, the barricade at the back, everything goes off, and you just have Messi and the ball in the screen. Now, why I'm talking about this is exactly how life works on. If you're focusing on something, everything else will follow. I just want to make a statement which generally people make. People always say, hey, you know what? I lost my focus because I got distracted. I lost my focus because I got distracted. That's what people say. And let me tell you something that's not true. The truth should be, I got distracted because I lost my focus. It's difficult to chew, but please see it, then you will know it for yourself. All right. I lost focus because I got distracted. If I'm very much focused on talking to you or doing my job, how would I know that even a telephone buzzes? So if I lose focus, then only I will get the things into my mind. Now, this may sound very odd for some people. Let's make an example for next 30 seconds. So just be silent and observe your room, wherever you're sitting. Just observe. You'll be listening, maybe the clock ticking, maybe the fan moving, maybe some audio coming from a different room, or maybe the sound of an AC. I'm sure you're listening to something. Now, where did they all go when you're listening to somebody, right? Now, the whole idea is that when you focus, other things will start falling apart. So one quick takeaway, and I'll give you 5 simple things which you can do. Now, first thing I want you to do is, if you want to enhance your focus, please pause. Now, what I mean by pause is anything you want to do in your life. It can be to pick up a glass of water, to reply a mail, to switch off the AC, to go for a walk. Anything you want to do in your life, just pause for 10 seconds. 10 seconds only. Now, what happens in this 10 seconds? Why you have to do that? Now, what people do is the things happen as a matter of fact. They just happen in an auto mode, and the mind is running in several directions. Have you heard people saying that, I drove from New Delhi to Gurgaon 45 minutes, but I was not even aware of it. Pata hi nahi chala. That's what people say. Now, what do you mean by pata hi nahi chala? Now, somebody has to be on drugs to achieve that feat. Driving for 45 minutes and not being able to aware of that. Well, that's very, very strange, but it happens with people. So why? Because everything, the mind's capacity is stretched in all directions. So what this 10 seconds pause can do for you is the basic thing. It will make you get your energy back, and then you will be able to deal with things more powerfully. So one thing is, if you want to stay focused, you have to need your mental energy. The moment you just pause, all the energy is back, and then you'll be able to focus better. So this one quick tip, and this is very, very powerful. So I can explain 1 hour on this, but then let's go for some quick tips on enhancing focus instantly. So I talk something as build your DAD, DAD. DAD stands for defense against distractions, defense against distractions. So what normally people do is, oh, I got distracted because of this, I got distracted because of that. So people generally blame. So please don't blame, because if something is not working, the reason is inside you, not outside you. If there is distraction, you have given approval to it, otherwise it would not be a distraction. So instead of blaming, let's build up defense against distraction, DAD. So let's not do the blame, but let's use blame, BLAME. Now, when I say use blame, I'm not saying blame. I'm saying blame is an acronym here. Each letter signifies a specific thing which you have to do to take charge of your focus, BLAME. Don't blame, but use BLAME. So let's talk the first one. First one is B. B stands for break time. Now, break time is very, very critical. What is meant by break time is, there is something which is called as attention span of time. I'm sure most of you heard that, and you have to honor that. The rough average attention span of time is roughly about 40 minutes. So that means the brain cannot take in more than 40 minutes of a similar content. So that's the reason if you see worldwide schools, education institutions, each subject period length would be 45 minutes, because honoring the attention span. All right, you're not an energizer bunny. You have a fixed amount of attention. Honor that. So if you have shorter breaks, life will be less monotonous, and you will be able to focus, because if you stretch yourself too much, your focus capacity depletes drastically. So break time, that's one thing. So honor breaks. So have short breaks. Instead of doing something for 2 hours, maybe do it in 45 minutes of 3 times, or half an hour of 4 times. That will actually give you better result as well. So because you will be in the attention zone all the time. So that's break time. B is done. L is limit attention. Limit attention is very, very powerful. We are living in attention economy. Now, what I mean by attention economy, everything in the world is seeking your attention. So let's say if you guys are watching the screen, now thoughts will be like, oh, why this guy is using a different background? Oh, he's having coffee. Oh, now this guy looks actually like my brother. Or, if there's things in front of you, maybe there's a fire extinguisher, there's a fan, there's a flowers. Now everything is seeking your attention. So if you want to focus, limit your attention. So for that, the simple thing is declutter. Now you're doing one job, just do that job. So if you're, let's say, for example, if you're a student or if you're working on a file, just be with that file on the table. If you have a hand sanitizer, if you have a camera, if you have a data bank, if you have a mobile phone, whether you like or you don't like, your mind is processing that information. So the lesser the attention, the moment you limit your attention, you will be able to focus better. So B is break time, L is limit attention. BLA. A is active concentration. Active concentration is one of the most important things to do. Now, why you have to do what is active concentration is to be aware what you are actually doing. Now, because of the nature of the mind is running here and there. And people actually, 95% of whatever people are doing, it's in the auto mode. They don't do it consciously. It is in a pre-run program kind of a thing. We have only 5% to play with it. So when you do active concentration, you will get into playing with that 5%. Now, if you're driving, I just given small thought, just use it if you can. And that is on the dashboard, just put a small placard, maybe small visiting card kind of a thing, which is written, I'm driving. And you know what? You will not get this crazy thought that, pata hi nahi chala. What do you mean by pata hi nahi chala? Now, someone up there must be very happy if you're not getting into accidents. And that is because somebody is very happy with you. All right. It takes a fraction of a second. And where did I get this idea from is because, I went to a CEO and I was living in Malaysia for about 12 years. I went to a CEO's office and there's a quote on the table. I said, wow, this is one of my favorite quotes. He said, you only see the quote, I see something else. I said, what do you see? He said, come around and see from my perspective. So when I just went behind the table and saw the quote, the backside of the quote, the reverse side, it was written, "Smile, please." I said, "What is that?" He said, "Because of my nature of work, too many things happen in my life, and a person comes in, I just lose my, cool, and I shout off. Maybe something happened, I lost something, and this is like a reminder for me that somebody comes in, I see the guy, I also see smile please, so I become cool." So active concentration is very much required. Have you seen that whatever you're doing, after a while you get into the auto mode? Right? So if you want to stay focused, you cannot be in the auto mode, you have to be in active mode. So when you're walking, for a while, stop and say, you don't have to stop, you just say, "Hey, I'm walking." Several times you're walking and you don't even know that the walk is over. So you're doing something, but you don't get the result. So A stands for active concentration. So B, break time. L is limit attention. A is active concentration. And M is mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is a topic by itself. It can be 2-3 hours kind of thing, but I just want to give you one link of mindfulness, and that is being in the present moment without judgment. Please don't judge. Saying this is very, very easy, but then try to practice it. Now, whatever is happening, just be there with that. Whatever you do, do it mindfully. Whether you're eating a meal, whether you're taking your shower, whether you're driving, whether you're talking to kids, do it mindfully. You know what happens? People are in the habit of moving ahead of time. Now, what I mean by moving ahead of time? Oh, you know what? When I reach my office, I will send a mail to Pankaj. Now, whoever even told you that you will reach the office? Who had told me that I've reached my office? Maybe I don't even get out of my house itself. Now, what happens is people are taking a shower and they think, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. And suddenly they get a doubt, did I even apply shampoo or not? Now, this is like funny, but this happens with a lot of people. So, and I'm not saying don't contemplate, don't think into the future. Don't do it on an unconscious level. When you want to think into the future, sit down and say, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I want to run my day and see it. But not just let it happen like that. Be mindful. So that will help you to stay focused in a better manner, because if you're not mindful, your energy, the mental energy is going everywhere, thinking about your next program, maybe the facts you have to send, maybe the person you have to meet, the meeting, the stock, corona, a lot of things will head in mind. But when you're in the moment mindfully, without judgment, your energy is conserved. Your mental energy is very, very precious. It is conserved. So that is M. Now let's go to the last one, which is E. E is eliminate distractions. Now, what I mean by eliminate distractions, I would say eliminate obvious distractions. There are some distractions which are obvious. Maybe for you, people walking around may be a distraction. Maybe for you, for me, internet ping is a distraction. Maybe for somebody else, sounds from outside the window are a distraction. Now, whatever is your distraction, eliminate them. Now, obvious distractions, eliminate. Otherwise, what happens is you will be working. Let's say, for example, I'm a person who don't like messages coming in between when I'm working. So if I'm aware of that, I can switch off my modem before I pick up my laptop for doing some serious work. If you're a person who don't want people to be, walking in, you can tell your secretary not to send in people, or you can put the don't disturb signboard. Whatever works for you. Eliminate obvious distractions, then your job will be much more better. So the distractions which are not obvious will anyway show up. We have to deal with it in life. But those which are obvious, if you deal, you'll have more mental energy. So very quick recap of blame. B is break time. L is limit attention. A is active concentration. M is mindfulness. And E is eliminate distraction. So these are simple things. And the topping of this, one simple technique which I would like to share is pause. The moment you pause for the 10 seconds, your mind will be back wherever you are, and you will be able to deal with things in a more professional manner. So this is what I thought I could share in this short time. So if you have any questions, okay, one last slide, sorry. So I just want to ask you, in which direction is the train going? Is it going into the tunnel, or is it coming out of the tunnel? It's definitely not both. All right. So imagine that you are the pilot of this train. You are the one who is driving the train. Now you decide whether it is going into the tunnel or out of the tunnel. If you say it's going into the tunnel, it's going into the tunnel. If you say it's going out of the tunnel, it's going out of the tunnel. But one thing is, this is unlimited coaches, never ending, continuously going. Now, why I'm talking about this is I want to end this with this. Your focus, your memory, your mind power is always either going higher or dropping. It's always either improving or decreasing. As I said, everything you do, everything you don't do is impacting your focus either for positive or negative. So if you don't do anything, the path of least resistance going down, your focus will go down, and there is no limit of falling down. All right. But if you just be responsible, if you just don't blame and use BLAME and pause and whatever works for you, if you take responsibility, you will start seeing that your focus will increase. And for increasing, there are again no bounds. All right. So that is the whole thing. And thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'm available. And of course, I'm available on my email as well. Let me just put the screen off. Okay, guys, so that was a short presentation. So if you have any questions, I'm available for answers for a few minutes. I hope I have not overshot my time.
Not at all. We still have another 15 more minutes.
Sure, 15 more minutes. Okay, so let me use take a couple of questions, and probably in the questions I can give some tips.
Yeah, please.
So I thought I should be finishing by 8:05 or something like that. So great, good. I try to make it as crisp. Yes, guys. So any questions if you have? I think Soma has raised the hand if there's any question.
Actually, I would like to call Kartikamani for this session, feedback
Sure.
and question answer session. Kartikamani,
Oh, sorry,
over
sure.
to you.
Got it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Yas. Thank you so much. And thank you, Anand sir, for this amazing, beautiful session, I could say. You have given justification for this title, Instant Focus.
Thank you.
And, within 20 minutes of time, you wrap up everything, and it's very short and quick, as like noodles, 2 minutes noodles kind of thing. Within 20 minutes, you're able to cover up a big title, and you gave justification to that too. Thank you so very much. And thank you, sir. Anyone would like to share something about this session? You can share your feedbacks and you can post the questions also.
Sir, I would like to ask a question.
Yeah. Yes.
So regarding multitask,
Yeah.
so lots of people are doing multitask, right?
Yeah.
So how can they able to focus on all those stuff?
Okay, great. So first, let me ask you this question: is multitasking? I mean, let me share my views in life. So I am a person who believes there is nothing right, nothing wrong, nothing good, nothing bad. It's just your reflection, whatever you think is right for you. So having said that, I just still want to ask everybody one question: is multitasking good or bad? I need some answers. So I'm seeing the chat boxes. Do you think it's good? Okay. Bad? So some people say bad, some people say it's fine, some people say it's good, some people say very good, amazing. So let me share my views. So I come from the same philosophy, so I hold on to my words. Multitasking is neither good nor bad. I just want to repeat it again. Multitasking is neither good nor bad because it is worst. Because it is worst. Absolutely, listen to me, okay? All right, if it is bad, it was still okay. All right. Now, what happens in multitasking? Now, when you are doing, let me ensure you that there's nothing called multitasking. It is a multiple shifting of your focus. So if you say you're watching your TV and emailing, let's say, so this is how it works: emailing, then watching TV, then emailing, then watching TV. So you do it so fast that it seemingly looks you're doing same. So what is technically happening is you're training yourself to shorten your attention spans. All right. So please, 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 for God's sake, your sake, for the result's sake, do not multitask. And I do understand that there are a lot of times in life, especially working women, they need to do a lot of multitasking. Like in the morning, they have to get ready, the kids are there, one wants boost, one wants something else, there's a newspaper guy, kuda wala. So if these kind of things are happening, please go ahead and do it. But please don't take pride for doing multitasking. Understand that you are doing it because you have no option. Now, if you're taking pride that I'm good in multitasking, it is something like I am closing my eyes and crossing the road and I am surviving. So I say, wow, I can do that. No, it was luck that I survived. I can't overstretch my luck. Okay, if I have to close my eyes and do it, I will do it anyway. But then it is not out of pride and capacity. It's because I can't do anything else. All right. So please don't do multitasking. So again, focus is follow one course until successful. And another thing is you can also go and Google effects of multitasking. You'll be surprised. Your creativity will go down. Your long-term memory will go down. Your focus will go down. And there are a lot of negative things which will happen. So please stay away from multitasking. If you have to do, quickly do it and come back. I can't say like eliminate multitasking. It's like, Zen mode. It takes time for us to reach there. But then, yes, try to minimize. That's my idea. Yeah.
What about the phone thing? Many times we are always on the phone. So how do you?
Okay. Phone thing, I would like to share something. So there are some things which I believe in, and that is the world is not going to end in the next 1 hour. Okay. So the most beautiful thing is the world is not going to end in the next 1 hour. So there is honestly this fear of missing out has taken over. Oh, am I missing something? Is somebody trying to call me or whatever thing? So let me tell you one more secret. It's like odd secret, and that is nobody is missing you in life. Okay. Nobody's missing you. If they miss you, they will find you. Even if you go hide in a submarine, they will find you. All right. You don't have to think who is missing me. Can I go and call him? And if I go and ask Faisal, are you missing me? He says no. Then where should I keep my face? Okay. Nobody's missing. If Faisal misses me, he will find myself. And that is not being rude. That is being with a lot of love and respect for self and also love and respect for the other person. Okay. So a few things is nobody's missing you. So you can keep the phone away for 1 hour. And the world is not going to end in the next 1 hour. So keep the phone for 1 hour. And let's say by mistake or the nature of God, if the world ends in the next 1 hour, problem solved. Okay. If it doesn't end, you can always catch. All right. Okay, guys. So any other questions? So another 2 minutes, maybe. I don't know, Karthika should say.
I would like to ask one more question. Okay.
Yes, Faisal.
So, Anand, you were magical today, and I was really mesmerized with your conversations. It was very deep. Sometimes, we miss the best. It's a realization. We miss the best. You reminded me I need to run back and get into the best. Thank you so much for this powerful conversation in the early morning. Hopefully,
Pleasure.
A lot of people to realize they need to focus now. Even you made me realize that I need to focus more and deliver an extraordinary result in my life. What I really liked is you said in between your conversation, you said about honoring your word. I would like to hear more from you about how do we get that resilience to honor your word. How can we make so strong that we cannot miss the word which we declare to somebody else?
Okay, generally, I mean, I am not an expert in that, but I can give my thoughts. Okay. All right. So my thought, again, I will always see things from the lens of focus and the mind. Now, normally what happens is people say, Acha, Anand, can you do that? Anand, can you come at 8 o'clock in the morning? So, sir, okay, done. Now, probably there are 200 things running in my head. And because of that, I probably did not even process what you have said or not. So if you're in the present state of mindfulness, and before you say, if you think, then one is you're taking a conscious decision. Two is because you have taken a decision, your mind, body, and soul, whatever you want to call it, will align to that. So it will give you strength to do that. Otherwise, what happens is if I simply say, as a matter of fact, okay, I'll do that, I can do this, then it would be a problem for me to even honor the word. So maybe that's my answer to that. And one thing I would like to share is the moment one is focused, one is with the self, a lot of things will fall in place. Amazingly, they'll fall in place. And I would like to share one more quote on focus, which is my quote. And that is, if you have luxury of working only on one skill, work on your focus.
Yeah.
That's why where I started, if you can't control your focus, you can't control anything in life. Work on focus. And if you're working on focus, it doesn't matter whether you're mixing tea, whether you're cooking, whether you're carpet cleaning, whether you're driving, whether you're performing a surgery, it doesn't matter. You will be in the next level. And if you want to work on two skills, work on memory, the second skill, because You minus your memory, what are you? You can't even answer that. So the asset is here, your memory. Okay. So more on memory for an evening talk. So we'll do that one of the days on memory actually.
Please do come back,
Yeah,
anytime.
sure.
We look forward to hearing you again.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, dear. It's really been a lot.
Yeah.
Who else? There are a lot of people raise a hand. Naveen sir, Karthi. Who
Yeah,
else?
yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Faisal. Power has gone here. So I connected with my mobile data. So
All right.
Anand sir, I have a question.
Okay.
Yes.
Nowadays, this is the time we are focusing more on the technology, and especially for the kids are concerned, they have been distracted so much. Starting from 2 3 year old kids, they are very much aware of using a phone, very much aware of using a laptop, and parents, they have been with the same stream. What is going to happen next? They have taxed themselves. At the meantime, they are showing the same thing to the kids also. Don't do this. Don't do these things. Children are in the house for 24 bar 7. Most of the parents are feeling really taxed, and they cannot handle themselves.
Right.
So I need how we can focus the whole family. Intentionally we are distracting everything inside a family.
Yeah. In fact, if you just take it over to the next level, four friends get together and everybody is WhatsApping, everybody is there, and they will take the cake and post it in the Facebook that we are having a party, and they're not having any party, they're just living on their own self. But anyway, coming back to this, I just want to make you understand this one simple thing. Technology is very, very good, but then it's like a knife. You can use it to kill somebody, you can use it to cut vegetables. All right. Now, if you remember 15, 20, 25, 30 years back when there were no phones, people's memory was awesome in terms of telephone numbers. Now I have met a lot of people who don't remember their own number. I'm not kidding. And I get two justifications. You don't remember your number. Why? Oh, this is my Geo number. I use it only for my internet. Even if it is Geo number, it's not Ambani's number, your number. Okay, you have to remember that. Second thing is very funny. They say that I will never call myself. Ha 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 ha. So why should I remember my number? For God's sake, okay? Anyway, so now if you just see what's happening is, if you just scroll your phone, don't believe me, scroll your phone book, you will find 20, 30, 50 names where Pankaj Verma, who the hell is Pankaj Verma? You don't even know why the number is existing there. Because from the source into the device without processing. So this is the flip side what is happening. And coming back to your question, kids getting hooked to the mobile devices. If I have to be really, really, straight, the problem is not the kids, the problem is the parents. Now, kids were given a phone just to make sure that, they don't disturb the parents. Or parent is doing something, then the kid is saying, oh, come play with me. Okay, play with Talking Tom, go. Okay, and what happens is this becomes an addiction. And then parents themselves are actually into the phone all the time. Kids don't listen and learn, they actually see and learn. If I'm telling you, see, it's not good to smoke, okay? What did you learn? You learn how to smoke. All right. If I lead by example, so if you want to stop, if you want the kids to stop watching TV, then you demonstrate that. They will not do it. You tell them 100 times, don't watch TV, don't watch mobile phone, and you go into mobile phone and do your stuff. It doesn't work that way. So that is one simple thing. And second thing is probably you should have a family off time kind of thing. Sundays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. all devices will be off as a rule. Come what may. I mean, the world is not going to end in the next 3 hours. Come on. All right. In spite of Corona, the world did not end in 10 months. So there's a lot of hope. All right. So 3 hours is a lot of less time. So it's okay. And learn to just be in the present, so that will actually help. But first thing is understand the damage which it is doing. Then you will be able to align to it to make sure that you can get off. All righty. Tasha?
All right. I think, Karthi, there are a lot of people raising the hand. Maybe you'll call.
Yeah.
Naveen,
I'm seeing it.
Naveen sir, yeah.
I cannot see.
I really want to know what are the practices you do every day, Anand.
Okay,
Good morning, Anandji.
I blame everybody.
Great session. And
Thank you, sir.
um, like the technique which you said, pause for 10
Yeah.
seconds, right?
Mhm.
Now, what are the very techniques to pause? See, first of all, we need to know what are the techniques, because, okay, I just want to give you an example.
Yeah.
Whenever I see a person, I always
Mhm.
get angry. I don't know, I'm just giving example. And
Got it.
whenever he comes, the first thing which I start with my anger. It triggers. So how
Yeah.
do I? There should be some kind of technique to pause and.
Yes, exactly. Let me tell you, there is no technique to pause. Pause is the technique. And I'll tell you, let me justify this. Okay. Now, what happens is, thank you very much for raising the question. If you just see what you said, when I see a person, I get angry. It's an impulse.
Impulse.
People work by impulses. So most of the people are slave to an impulse. So I was a slave to my impulse of eating. When I see food, I have to eat it, not because I'm hungry, because I just eat it because it's available. When I see something I need to buy, it's an impulse. Buying, eating, getting emotional, these are all the impulses, and they happen because just like that they happen. Where we are impulses happen more because of doing it over and over again. Let's say, for example, now the brain, I'm talking about the neurological physical brain, it doesn't care why you're doing what you're doing. It will only make you better at whatever you're doing. A very quick example, let's say every morning I go to the milk shop and get milk, and there's a dog chasing me, and it's happening for the last 6 months. And if this is true, today, after 6 months, I would have been a better runner than 6 months ago. It doesn't matter whether I'm running to lose my weight or to exercise, to run a marathon, scared of dog, getting late, doesn't matter. Because I am running, I become better at it. So when you talk about the impulse, you have to, if because you are getting impulsive, you will become an expert in impulse. So what the pause does is it will make sure that the impulse goes off. And you might have seen in Hindi movies or even English movies as well, when you're angry on somebody, count 10. Have you heard that? You just count 10. Does it work?
Mm.
People don't know because they will only remember that after they have splurred out on other person, after they become angry. They will not get it before. So why I said is, if you remember when I said pause, I very simply said that for everything pause. Now, why you need to pause for everything? Now, if you just say, I will pause when I see a person, I'll pause not to get angry. It doesn't work like that because
Correct.
impulse will take over. So if you can pause for everything, you want to pick up a glass of water, pause. You want to open the curtain, pause. You
So
want to
that
reply,
becomes a
pause.
habit. That becomes
Exactly. So pause becomes a cushion mechanism for everything you do. So when that person comes in front of you, you will definitely pause because it's an habit.
correct.
So pause is a technique. There's no technique to pause. And the only technique to pause is pause for everything.
That's correct.
Hope this answers.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Sounds great.
Great. Thanks.
I would like to know what are your daily rituals you do to become that sharp at the edge?
No, currently I'm just doing my walking every day. I did my 4 kilometer walk today. I'm not an expert, but I try to be consistent. This is I'm consistently. I thought of showing my older picture, and because the top was small, then I did not put that because it's again a focus thing. And I do meditation,
Every
bit of
day.
meditation. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean I'm not like sit for 40 minutes kind of thing, but
How long?
sit for. Sorry, even 5 minutes is good.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, yeah. I'm not saying just do that. And for those people who are not aligned, my thing is start small and build up.
Awesome.
Start with 5 minutes and go on. So if I first day, last 20 years, I've never meditated, and today I want to meditate 40 minutes, then you know what happens? 5 minutes of meditation, 25 minutes of frustration, right? So work small and then build up is a great tool actually for anything. So that will help. Yeah.
Only two? Nothing else? You need to know your secret.
The secret is blame. Use blame all the time. Yeah. There's no secret actually.
Amazing.
Try as much as possible, try to be in the present. And the pause is a $1 million tool, trust me. Use 10 days, for next 10 days, consciously use pause. If you don't get value, call me and say you've wasted my half an hour of my life. All right. You'll only call to thank me. Just use 10 days consciously and see the magic happening. Trust me.
Just
Don't
pause.
believe me, just pause. And that itself will take you to the next level. try it out. Yeah.
Okay, Soma sir, do you want to share anything, sir?
Yes, Soma sir, I've
Of
muted you.
course, I was the first person with raising the hand.